So you're doing a draft on a tight budget. Maybe you spend that little bit too much on Haaland or Salah and you haven't got any money left to buy the rest of your team. Well, here are 5 players under 1 million who you can draft in draft mode. Now, these are all players that are in the world pool, so you can get them when the default world pool is loaded, which is around 6,000 players total. These are players under 1 million that you can use. I've got a variety of positions for you. And if you enjoyed this video, I'll bring you a second one with 5 more. Now, I'm going to start off with an old favourite of mine, Faitout Maouassa, the Club Bruges player who's now playing in France, but he's out on loan. So you're going to need the Belgian leagues loaded if you want to play him outside of the world pool. But otherwise, he is looking pretty good. 15 acceleration, 14 pace. You can see he's got 13 tackling, 12 marking, so it's not too bad. He plays as a left back, but you can move him right up the wing, all the way up to an attacking left winger. You can even play him on the right-hand side, perhaps as a defensive winger. He's got good technique, 14 crossing, 14 dribbling. The mentals are all pretty strong, mostly between 12 and 14. He's a good all-round player, gets forward whenever possible, runs down the left, good passing of 12, vision of 13. He's not going to blow your socks off, but at 425k, he's an absolute steal, and he probably compares with a lot of those left-back players that you can see up at the 5 million, 10 million pound mark, but he's much cheaper, so keep an eye out for Faitout Maouassa. We're going to move up the price points here, and my second suggestion at 500k is Carlos Vinícius. The Fulham man has got great jumping reach, 15. He's 6'4". His heading isn't so good. He's only got an 8 for heading, but he's got good strength of 17. He's got good natural fitness. He's not too slow with the 14 pace. Decent finishing of 14 and a composure of 16, and he's got decent enough passing and vision and technique. You know, good technique of 15, first touch 14, decisions 14. There's some good attributes in there that make him a solid striker for 500k, don't forget. So you're getting a really good player for 500k, comparable to some of those players up at the 7, 8 or even 10, 15, 20 million pound marks. But he's much cheaper, lower than 1 million. Have a look at Carlos Vinícius if your budget is very tight and you need another striker player. I have another suggestion for you, and it is another left back. So let's say Maouassa isn't your cup of tea. Well, how about the Dutch starlet Owen Wijndal? And you can see here, he's got a bit of pace, 14 pace, 14 acceleration, so he's not slow. Some good stamina, 15 stamina, 15 fitness, and he can defend, 15 for tackling. He's got positioning, he's got off the ball, he can go forward, 14 crossing, 15 flair, 15 determination, 16 in bravery. He's pretty good as a defensive left back, full back, wing back, however you want to use him. Again, much like Maouassa, you can move him up the wing. He also plays in the middle. Now, one thing to bear in mind if you do want to use him in the middle is he is only 5'9". He's only got 8 for heading. He's got a 12 jumping reach, which isn't too bad, but he's a little bit on the shorter side. The other thing you want to watch out for him, he's got the trait dives into tackles. But as long as you can live with those things, as a left back out wide, or maybe as a wing back playing in the back 5, he's pretty useful, and he costs you the cheap price of 850k. He's been a bargain for a few years, and he's a bargain still again this year. Moving up to 950k, and I've got another player from Fulham, this time the former Man United player Andreas Pereira, and look at him, 15 passing, 15 vision, 16 work rate, 18 determination, 15 technique, 15 corners, 15 first touch, 15 long shots. Those are really high attributes for a player that is less than a min. You can play him anywhere across that attacking midfield, shadow striker, wingers, inverted wingers, advanced playmakers, however you like. You know, 15 passing and 15 vision, he makes a pretty good playmaker. His physicals let him down a little bit. The balance isn't great. He's a little bit, he can't jump that high, so he's only got a jumping reach of 7 and a strength of 7. But the pace is enough, 14 pace, 14 acceleration, 14 agility, and a little bit of stamina. His decision making is a little bit off, and his composure is a little bit off, and maybe, you know, finishing only at 12, but it's solid enough. And you can, like I said, you can use him in that advanced playmaker position. You can use him to set off your strikers or inside off the wings as a great inverted winger. And finally, at 1 million on the dot, there's a player from Real Madrid, Mariano, the Dominican striker. He's 15 pace, 15 acceleration, 15 finishing, good bravery, decent enough off the ball, a really good work rate of 17. He'd make a really good pressing forward to put the opposition under quite a lot of pressure. His passing is maybe a little bit low, his teamwork's maybe a little bit low, the vision's maybe a little bit low, but otherwise, and he's not the most flair player, but otherwise he's a really solid player. He's got 16 heading as well and 15 jumping reach. He's only 5'11", but that 15 jumping reach is pretty solid. You know, the jumping reach matters a little bit more than that height, and you combine that with that 16 heading, 15 finishing. He's a really strong player for under 1 million, or sorry, at 1 million. So you could take Mariano maybe as your backup striker if you've spent all your money on someone like Haaland or Mbappe or Messi. You take Mariano as the backup in case those guys get injured. You bring him on late game. You want a second striker to come on. He's not going to break the bank, and an absolute budget striker that you can take and put into your team. So those were 5 budget picks under 1 million in draft mode this year, all in the world pool. If you've got any suggestions of your own, let me know down in the comments. I've got a few more actually, and I'd like to bring them to you. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll bring you a follow-up to this video if you do. Otherwise, I want you to send you across to this video here, where you can check out how to do draft mode in the 9899 database that Mad Scientist set up. It's pretty cool, so go check that out. There's no Mariano in there, but there is R9 Ronaldo. It's nice.